What if everything you were taught about love was a shadow cast on a cave wall, a flickering illusion you've chased your whole life? Imagine the air growing heavy, your breath shortening, a cold realization creeping up your spine like a winter fog. You were trained to be soft, to lay your heart bare like an offering at her altar. They told you, with soft edges and sweet slogans, to be her protector, her provider, her peace. Women want a good man, they whispered, a man who listens, who feels, who serves. But here you stand in the dim light of a late-night room, the silence screaming louder than your thoughts. You're confused, abandoned, ignored, watching the woman who once clung to your presence now light up for the man who doesn't even call her back. Deep down, you feel it, that itch of betrayal, that whisper in your gut murmuring, none of what they taught you works. Here on Dark Psyphoria, we don't shy away from the brutal truths that set you free. So, which path will you take? Clinging to the lie or stepping into the fire of reality? Join us on this journey. Subscribe to Dark Psyphoria as we reach for 1,000 subscribers, united in uncovering the truths that awaken us. The fairy tale of desire you were sold isn't real, brother. This isn't about Disney endings or scripted romance. Calvin Reed's women magic lore isn't for men who still believe in those illusions. It's for the man who's been burned, played, ghosted, drained. It's for the man ready to stop pretending and to see the game for what it is. There's a truth we're not supposed to say aloud. Women don't fall in love with goodness. They fall in love with gravity, power, presence, command. Not kindness, not compromise, not your feelings. The man she dreams of isn't the one who puts her on a pedestal. It's the one who stands tall, unshaken, as if he doesn't need her applause. Picture James, a man who spent years chasing Sarah with flowers and late-night texts, pouring his heart into every gesture, only to watch her drift toward a stranger who barely noticed her. James thought effort was the key, but he was wrong. The moment you chase, you flip the polarity. You kill the tension. You signal, I am beneath you, so I run after you. Reed's words cut deep. Never chase. Because when you do, you're no longer the prize. You're the puppy. And women don't sleep with puppies. They pet them, praise them, then move on to the wolf who commands affection by existing in his truth. Have you ever felt that collapse in your chest when you realized you were chasing a ghost? Let that feeling linger, and let's walk deeper into the fire. Women aren't drawn to men who beg. They're drawn to men who build. If you want her to need you, stop needing her. Build a life so magnetic she wants to orbit around it, not because you gave her flowers, but because you gave her silence, purpose, direction, unpredictability. You're still trying to win her with effort, but women don't fall for effort. They fall for energy. The man who doesn't flinch, who can walk away without blinking, that's the man she cannot forget. That's the magic lure Reed unveils. The trap most men fall into, believing love is an even exchange. It's not. It's a power dynamic, a psychological dance of who needs less, who controls the rhythm of intimacy, who withholds first. Here's the harsh truth. Women instinctively understand this. They don't need a book. They were raised on it. From a young age, they're taught not to give too much, to make a man work, to let him invest more. Why? Because the one who invests more becomes emotionally indebted. It's not evil. It's evolution. Survival. Carl Jung once wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." What transformation have you been resisting by giving too much, too soon? Let's peel back another layer. And yet, here you are, texting first, texting often, opening up too soon, laying your soul bare to a woman who's scanning your words for weaknesses. She's not looking for your truth. She's looking for leverage. Not to destroy you, but to decide, can I shape this man? Can I own his attention? If she can, you're no longer a mystery. You're a mirror. And women don't crave mirrors. They crave mountains. Reed's insight is surgical. Being emotionally open too soon isn't vulnerability. It's psychological disarmament. You think you're building closeness, but you're handing over your manual. Every secret, every insecurity, every unmet need becomes a roadmap she didn't ask for. Once she has it, the chase is over. Not because she's cruel, but because your mystery died in your desperation. Feel the weight of that moment, the stillness in the room as you realize you've given away your power, the faint hum of your phone as another message goes unanswered. Women are wired to respond to uncertainty with desire, not chaos, but masculine unpredictability. The calm man who reveals little, who leads with presence, not paragraphs. That's the man who gets under her skin. That's the man she dreams about, not the one who asks, "Where did I go wrong?" but the one who makes her wonder, "Why can't I stop thinking about him?" Let's step into that energy, brother, and see what it reveals. You think connection is about confession, that the more you tell her, the more she'll trust you. But women don't trust words. They trust dominance, direction, detachment. Women follow energy, not explanations. When your energy screams, "Please choose me," she doesn't feel admiration. She feels repulsion. Not because she's shallow, but because biology punishes need. Need smells like survival. It signals weakness. It says, "I need you to validate me, to complete me, to fix what I refuse to fix myself." That's not love. It's dependence dressed up as romance. Women feel the difference in their bones, even if they don't say it. A man who worships her becomes less of a man because he hands over the one thing she craves most: emotional authority. When you do that, you become hers, not in the way you hoped, but to manage, to tolerate, to shape. Here's the brutal irony. When she has that power, she doesn't feel safe. She feels burdened. No woman wants to be the man in the relationship. She might pretend she enjoys the control, but over time she'll resent it. She'll test you, provoke you, not to destroy you, but to silently beg you to show spine, to fight back, to stand up, to not fold. When have you folded under pressure, hoping it would win her over? Let's hold that question as we move forward. The moment a woman knows she can control you emotionally, you've lost her sexually. Desire doesn't live in comfort, it lives in polarity. Masculine frame, direction. The man who doesn't just react to her moods, but anchors her through them. That's the secret they won't teach you in schools. Attraction is primal, and primal doesn't care about fairness. It cares about instinct. She tests to feel your strength, withdraws to feel your pull, pushes boundaries not to destroy them, but to feel they're real, that you'll hold under pressure. Picture the shadow and the light. In the shadow, you bend to her every whim, your hands trembling as you try to please her. In the light, you stand like a mountain, unshaken, your silence a burning truth she can't ignore. You think you're being punished, you're not. You're being measured. Women don't fall for perfect men, they fall for immovable ones. The man so grounded in himself, so unbothered by her beauty, so unmoved by her emotions, that she feels something rare, masculine security. Not the fake, performative kind, but the kind that says, "I am enough with or without you. I want you, but I don't need you." That's the line that separates men who win from men who chase. Let's rise into that truth, brother, like a phoenix from the ashes. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." Your abundance is your strength, your leverage. When a woman senses your world is full, with mission, purpose, options, her mind attaches not to what you say, but to what you don't. To the mystery she can't unravel, the life she can't control. She'll start to ask questions. Where does he go? Who does he see? Why isn't he obsessed with me? In that space, you become the lure, the emotional gravity she can't escape. Not because you're playing games, but because you stopped making her the prize and became the prize yourself. Most men reverse it. They meet a beautiful woman and surrender, rearranging their lives, canceling priorities, bending boundaries, then cry when she loses interest. But what did you expect? You handed over the keys to your kingdom before she proved she was worthy to enter. Women don't respect access that comes without effort. They respect gates, standards, challenges. Be rare. Be rare in your silence, your availability, your need for emotional handholding. When you become the man who doesn't need to speak to be heard, you become unforgettable. Women have seen attention, compliments. What they haven't seen is a man who sees through them, not just at them. That's the man who redefines their taste, who doesn't follow the rules of attraction. He is the rule. Let's anchor into that power as we near the end of this journey. So, what do you do with this truth that feels more like a gut punch than guidance? You stop chasing approval. You stop leading with your wounds. You stop begging for acceptance through affection. You stop seeking in women what you were never taught to find in yourself. You start becoming the kind of man who doesn't need her to feel worthy. You build, you sharpen, you expand, creating a gravitational pull so strong, so rooted in mission and movement, that women don't just want to be around you. They want to belong to the world you've built, not because you demanded it, but because you didn't. Your validation comes from results, not relationships, from vision, not validation, from clarity, not compliments. Most of your romantic pain isn't from her leaving. It's from realizing you had nothing outside of her. Your identity was built around being needed, and when she walked, so did your sense of self. That's not her fault. That's yours. You made her the sun and forgot to become the sky. But now you know. Now you see. Now you have the choice to stop performing, to stop apologizing, to stop giving your power away for scraps of affection that only pacify you long enough to keep you tame. Let's pause and reflect, brother. The pain you felt, that cold realization in the dim light of that late-night room, has been alchemized. It's no longer a wound, it's a compass. The final truth is this: women aren't the problem. Your illusion of them is. The moment you stop needing her to complete you, you become complete. Not in spiritual fluff, but in fire-forged reality. When you reclaim your center, when you detach with presence, when you lead without explanation, when you learn to say no without guilt, and yes without fear, you become dangerous, not reckless, not cruel, but undeniably free. Walk like a man who doesn't chase, speak like a man who doesn't fear silence, love like a man who doesn't beg. That's when you stop being forgettable. That's when the game ends. The man who doesn't need to be chosen is the man she cannot forget. Think of the real moments that shaped this truth, like the quiet strength of a father who rebuilt his life after loss, or the resilience of a friend who chose purpose over pain. These are the ideals we carry forward, the people who remind us what it means to stand unshaken. Let's stop surviving our inner world and start living inside it. Subscribe if you're ready to go deeper with us. This is Dark Psyphoria, where healing doesn't shout. It whispers through your silence. Thank you for watching. Walk your path with quiet strength.